So today we are talking about the organic growth of businesses. This advanced level business studies chapter 6 of the Cambridge curriculum. So we are talking about the organic growth of businesses. Now, first of all, the introduction, I said, what is growth? The introduction. The growth of businesses are measured according to the following. For example, when you say a business is growing, what is the growth? How can this growth be described? Business growth can be described in the following areas. An increase in the return to revenue. When there's an increase in the return to revenue of a business, it means that business is experiencing growth. Secondly, when there's an increase in the market shares, of course, the market shares is the influence of the business within the market. How many market outlets or positions the business can be present, or the business can make its services available. It will let you to know if the business is growing or not. If the business has too many outlets, or if there's an increase in the market shares of the business, it means the business is growing. Are we there? Then the third, they said the increase in the business productive capacity. Of course, the productivity of the business, if it increases, it obviously means that the business is experiencing growth. Are we there? Are you getting me? Okay. Now, the next, the business can be said to be or to have grown if there's an increase in its labor force. When the number of people the business can employ increases, it means there is a higher demand, or there is a more utilization of resources for that business. It means the business is growing. Also, the increase in its market value. Of course, the market value is talking about the fixed asset and the current asset, the totality, the market share, the complete value of the business. So, if there's an increase in these areas, it means the business is growing or has experienced growth. Now, there are two ways businesses can grow. Businesses can grow inorganic or organic. Now, what's the difference between inorganic and organic? It means external and internal growth. So, inorganic growth means external growth, which is through merging, through integration, through taking over, through external influence. But when we talk about organic growth, we are talking about the internal growth. This is when the firm itself, the firm or the business grows with its own resources, building its own strength or its own capacity to improve the sales or the activities of the business. So today we are talking about the organic growth of businesses. So all this is just an introduction to give you a picture of what we are talking about today. Can we continue? Are you there? Okay, now let's continue. I said organic growth means the business grows by building on its own strength to increase sales. The business grows by building on its own strength to increase sales. It didn't merge with any other company or any other business to increase sales. It looked for means on how to improve its sales by itself. So that is what it means by internal growth. When business grows by building their own strength, by using their own resources, personal resources to grow. They did not consult any external businesses or any external bodies for their growth. Now, what are the methods of organic growth of businesses? What are the methods? The first method of organic growth of businesses is the businesses try to get new customers. By getting new distribution channels, the business try to get new customers. And you know there's a problem. When the business can maintain its old customers and get new customers, automatically the sales of the product of that business must increase. Do you get it? So when a business look for different new channels to increase their customers while they maintain the old customers, it means the sales of the product of that business must increase. And if the sales of that business increases, it means the profit margin of that business increases. It means the market share of that business increases. It means the productive capacity of the business increases. It means there will be demand for more labor force or for more workers for the business. So this is the first way businesses grow organically, by looking for more new customers, by checking other means or new ways where they can distribute their product. So that's the first way businesses grow. The second way businesses grow is by developing new product. It means businesses are innovative. They try to introduce new methods. They try to introduce new ideas into their business to develop products that can attract more customers. So that's the second way businesses can grow organically, by developing new product. I wrote here, say businesses that are innovative. Is it clear? Can we continue? The next, the next method is finding new markets. I said diversifying the location of the business. For example, businesses can operate in different regions within a country. They will not decide to be in a particular region. If they are in a particular region, they will try to check on how they can extend their services to other regions. This is how businesses grow from local businesses to national businesses to transnational businesses or multinational businesses. So they try to diversify their market by finding new market on how they can sell their product. Of course, if they find new market on how to sell their product, the demand for the product in that area will increase the sales of the product. That's the third way businesses can grow. Then the fourth way is by franchising operations. What are franchise? Franchise is when an established, for example, when the business use another business license or name to sell its product. For example, any other product can use the license of Coca-Cola because Coca-Cola is already popular to sell its product. So they can do that by having these franchising operations. So those are the ways that businesses can grow organically. Those are the four ways businesses can grow organically: by looking for new customers, looking for new market, diversifying their location, and by franchising operations. These are the four ways businesses can grow. I just brought this for so that if you are watching the video, it will not be long for you to to follow. And also to those of you who are watching me, who are with me in the class, I think this will be able for you to memorize and understand. Then, what are the advantages and disadvantages of organic growth of firms? The first advantage is that it is less risky for business to grow organically. This is because the method of growth is well understood by the business itself. There is no interruption, there is no influence from outside. They create their strategies and use those strategies to grow. So they understand the systems. It is very difficult for the business to fail if they understand the system of growth. So I said it's less risky because the methods are well understood and are out of external influence. So there is no external influencer that influences the process of growth. Is it clear? So that's the first advantage of organic growth. It is less risky because the business understands its strategies and the way it's progressing gradually. You know, one of the problems we have with organic growth is that it may be slow, but it is less risky. The business can't fail because the business understands the process or the methods. Then, secondly, it is relatively cheaper to grow organically because it can be financed from retained profit. What are retained profit? Retained profit are profits that were kept aside, not used, or they were not mixed with the capital. For example, the business has been operating for the past year. Most of the profit they make were not plowed back into the capital. They were kept aside. So when the business sees the need of growing and the need resources or the need financial resources, they can go back to their retained earnings or to their retained profit and add to their capital to expand the productive capacity or the other activities of the business that will influence it to grow. So it is very cheap because they don't take loans from bank for them to grow. They don't ask for external financial support. They grow from their retained profit. So that's the second advantage. The third advantage is businesses can maintain control of their resources and activities, even though the speed of growth is or may be very slow. But they can maintain their resources. They can control their resources. They are not influenced by anyone. They don't have any reason to fear for external decision making. They make their decisions by themselves. So they maintain their resources. That is the next advantage. Then the last, they avoid these economies of scale. What are these economies of scale? These economies of scale are the cost disadvantages suffered by firms because of their increase in size. It may be mismanagement, it may be waste of resources, it may be so many things. But when business grows organically, they avoid those problems that may affect the business in the short run. Why? Is because the rate of growth of businesses organically it's very slow, so it gives them enough time to picture a problem or a challenge that can affect the business in the future. So they avoid these economies of scale. So those are the advantages of organic growth. It is less risky. It is relatively cheaper because it is financed by the plowback profit or by retained profit. Then it is also controllable. The business can control its resources and control its decision making. Then the business can also avoid these economies of scale. So these are the four advantages of organic growth of firms. Now, what are the disadvantages? The first disadvantage is that there will be inability for the business to enjoy economies of scale because they are growing very slowly. They may not get to that point where they will enjoy cost reduction. They may not get to that point where they will enjoy technical economies of scale, managerial economies of scale, right? Because they are growing on a very slow pace. So it's difficult for them to enjoy economies of scale. If you don't know what is economies of scale are the advantages enjoyed by firms because of their increase in size. So when firms grow or when businesses grow, they enjoy advantages like I've mentioned before, a reduction in the price, in the cost of production. It may be labor economies of scale, it may be technical, it may be managerial, it may be financial. But as more as they grow, the cost of these areas I mentioned reduces. So, but businesses that grows organically may not be able to enjoy such advantages because their rate of growth is very slow. Secondly, they may be unable to survive in a competitive market because most competitive businesses they grow inorganically, they grow externally by mergers. So when businesses merge, they will grow very fast than businesses that are growing organically. So they may not be able to survive in a market that is competitive or highly competitive. They may fail. Is it clear? Are we there? I'm sorry, I focused on the video. Are you getting me? So businesses that operate within a competitive market may not be able to meet up with its competitors if the business is growing organically because competitors may want to grow faster, which they may grow faster through measures. Then also the pace of growth is very slow. The pace of organic growth for businesses is very slow. And finally, because the pace is very slow, they may lack the resources needed for to maintain or to constantly progress in their business activities. So this is all you need to know about organic growth of businesses, how growth can be considered, types of growth, method of growth, advantage and disadvantage. So thank you for following the lesson today. We will see another time.